For the last month or so, I've been seeing this ad on YouTube. It's the Dirt on Factory Farms by Action for the Climate Emergency. And usually after like 5 seconds, I'll skip ads, but it caught my interest, so I decided to watch it the whole way through. And my god, is it the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, I feel obligated to talk about this. That's how bad it is.
Welcome to my home, where your meat gets made. I'm here to tell you what's really going on around these parts. A lot of folks think I live here. I wish I lived there.
No, you would not want to be there. It looks like you're a Holstein dairy cow. And at any farm, whether there's green hills or you're in a CAFO, you'd be raped. And they would steal your child away from you and exploit you for your milk for a couple of years, where they would kill you at around the age of 4 and turn you into meat. So yeah, you do not want to be at a farm of any sort. You want to be in an animal sanctuary where people actually respect your life and take care of you and don't exploit you for your milk.
This is a concentrated animal feeding operation, or CAFO. 99% of animals raised for slaughter in the U.S. are kept in one. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves now. I know lots of people eat meat, and that sitting around a table with our favorite dishes is a big part of our different cultures, holidays, and family traditions.
In the next ward, Zaina is recovering from her 6th stillborn baby because of the difficulties caused by the childhood circumcision.
What a beautiful tradition. Remember, always respect culture and tradition. Always.
So don't get me twisted, because it's not individual family meals that are causing damage. It's the scale at which corporations are producing meat that is wreaking havoc to animals, to the planet, and to the people.
You gotta be kidding me. This person, or rather cow, is saying that people aren't responsible for the billions of animals being slaughtered in CAFOs. Do you not know what supply and demand is? Do you think without our money these CAFOs would still exist? Yeah, I don't think so. This is as dumb as somebody arguing about the overpopulation of humans being like, it's not people having unprotected sex that's the issue, it's just that there's so many people in the world. Yeah, it's because people are having unprotected sex. That's the reason. For the remainder of the video, they essentially break down the detrimental effects factory farming has on the environment. Unfortunately, they leave out some viable information, so I want to discuss some of the research I've discovered, as well as recapping some of the points they've mentioned. I know you probably have a suspicion that this Jordan guy probably knows a thing or two about poop. And you'd be right. I know 2 things. 1, girls don't poop. And 2, animals do, and they do it a lot. And if we want to keep billions of animals in farms, there's going to be a lot of waste that comes of it. A large portion of this animal waste will be washed into cesspools. And these pools are huge, they can be like big lakes. And the crazy thing is, in order to get rid of these cesspools, they literally spray this waste into the air. I mean, it's like a shit mist. It's disgusting. Not only can these cesspools damage natural waterways in the environment, they also can impose health risks to people living in the area.
This is where they spray animal waste on us. This is about 8 feet from my mother's house.
What is it like when the mist is?
It's like, you think it's raining?
Really?
You think it's raining. We don't open the doors of the windows, but the odor still comes in. It takes your breath away. Then you start gagging, you get headaches.
Well, it's a good thing plants don't poop, so point for plant foods. It's also no secret that animal foods require much more agricultural land than plant foods do. According to the FAO, 77% of our agricultural land goes towards livestock. This includes like grazed land and land needed for animal feed. But this only provides us with 18% of our global calories, as opposed to 23% of our land going towards crops humans eat, and this provides us with 82% of our global calorie intake, which is insane. Additionally, when it comes to global greenhouse gas emissions from our food production, 52% of these are coming from animal products. It's also important to remember that roughly 1/5 of our global caloric intake is coming from these products as well. This bar graph is a great representation of the greenhouse gas emissions of various different foods. And we can see that animal products tend to be at the top of this list, with plant products being towards the bottom. We got beef, lamb at the top, and we got like banana, potatoes, nuts, corn, tomatoes towards the bottom. In a special report from the IPCC, or the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, there was a systematic review that unveiled plant-based diets were more health-promoting and associated with lesser environmental impact compared to the average meat-based diet. I think everybody's starting to see the big picture here, but the UN, or the United Nations, are also proponents of plant-based diets. In Section 4.4 of their Environment Program, they advocate for people to adopt plant-based diets to reduce their environmental footprint. I forgot to keep making tallies, but I think it's safe to say plant-based diets came out on top as far as our environment is concerned. Let's get back to the video I was critiquing because there's a couple things I gotta say towards the end of it.
My beef isn't with bacon eaters per se.
My beef isn't with bacon eaters. You wanna do me a favor and go yourself?
But there has got to be a better way to raise our meat without such cruel, inhumane practices to animals, workers, and our planet.
The only humane meat we could ever have is through lab-grown meat. There's no humane way to farm and slaughter animals that have a desire to live. To be humane is to be compassionate and benevolent. Compassion meaning having like sympathetic pity for someone's misfortunes or pain, or benevolence is to be well-meaning. How are we having concern for another being's pain when we're the one causing it by slaughtering them and ending their entire existence? The most inhumane thing we can do to a being that wants to live is to slaughter them. Plain and simple. There is a solution to help animals and the environment, and that's adopting a plant-based diet, a solution you haven't advocated for in your entire video.
But nothing's going to change while your tax dollars keep propping the meat industry up. And that's where you come in.
It always feels better to point the finger at somebody else and not take responsibility for our own actions. We're not responsible for these factory farms existing. It's the government taking our tax dollars and subsidizing them. Don't get it twisted. Without our money, these factory farms wouldn't exist. Without us paying for their services to get meat, dairy, and eggs, they wouldn't be subsidized by the government. As more people adopt a plant-based diet, the demand for animal foods will go down, and animal agriculture itself will get smaller and smaller, and it will receive less subsidies from the government.
That's where you come in. I'm just a cow trying to get through the day. Tell me, now that you know the truth about CAFOs, what are you gonna do about it?
What am I going to do? I'm actually going to do something that actually helps animals and the environment, and that's adopting a plant-based diet. And I'm also going to advise other people to follow my footsteps. If you're someone who identifies as an environmentalist and is not eating a plant-based diet, you're a dumbass. It's the biggest thing that we can do to help the environment. And if you don't give a shit about the environment, how about you adopt a plant-based diet for the most important reason? So you're not supporting the holocaust of trillions of animals for your selfishness. Yeah, I think I had enough whatever the fuck this was, so let's look at some happy cows for a sec.